what's your approach to recruitment? You want first place, come play with me. You want second place, go somewhere else. Like I would watch Matthew play. I would watch Mike play. And I would see them do these unbelievable things. And I'd say, can I get to that level? I don't know, but that's fine. Everything was done to try to learn how to become a better basketball player. Everything. And so when you have that point of view, then literally the world becomes your library to help you become better at your craft. So because you know what you want, the world is giving you exactly the information you want to become better because you know what you're looking for. So many guys tell stories about your work ethic. What was really your work ethic like, and for how long did you stay this way? Every day since 20 years. It was an everyday process and trying to figure out strengths and weaknesses. For example, jumping ability. My vertical was 40, it wasn't a 46 or a 45. My hands are big, but they're not massive. Right? So you got to figure out ways to strengthen them so your hands are strong enough to be able to palm a ball and do the things that you can do. Quickness, I was quick, but not insanely quick. I was fast, but not ridiculously fast. Right? So I had to rely on skill a lot more. I had to rely on angles a lot more. I had to study the game a lot more. And are close friends, and we'll just take vacations, just to take vacations, or just hang out, just to hang out. Like I'm not, I never did that.
Why not? Why didn't you do that?
Well, because when I retire, I didn't want to have to say, I wish I would have done more. I don't want that. You know? I don't want that. You know, you got a lot of people playing their hard earned money to come watch you. It's your job to be in shape. It's your job to be strong enough to perform at that level every single night. As a competitor, I'm not done. Like, it's not, oh my God, my back hurts, I'm sore, we got to play Vince Carter and Toronto Raptors tonight. We actually had this happen. We had a game against Toronto in 2000. And Vince was tearing the league up. My back was jacked. Like, the perception of that, like, what? Kobe's missing the game against